Joining us now is registered dietitian Michelle Swader, and we're talking about added sugar. Added sugar today. Welcome.
Thank you.
Natural sugars are okay.
Yes, they are the sugars that are in fruit and dairy products, and by and large, they have at least some sort of health benefit because you're getting a lot of nutrition besides. With added sugars, they're basically just plain sugar, and the reason that the term empty calorie was coined was because there's no health benefit to having any of that sugar. So one of the things that you want to look at if you're looking at a label, you want to watch for any sort of sugary term in the first 5 ingredients. That's where most of the ingredients are. And it could be something like honey, molasses, of course, high fructose corn syrup. And so when I get a lot of questions about carbs and sugars these days, a lot of people are wondering what they can do. The biggest way to make the best impact is to look at reducing those added sugars. And especially because we know that over the last couple generations, several decades, our consumption of the added sugars has actually gone up. And that does have adverse health effects for us.
Read the labels.
Read the labels.
It's time to get your questions answered. Any nutrition or diet questions? Swader is taking your diet and nutrition questions. We will start with Otto in Madison. Hi, Otto.
I'm a diabetic, and I'm a diabetic too. My blood sugars can be low in the morning when I first get up, like 88. Next thing I know, they're up around 178 or even higher. Now, in the mornings, I'll have like 3 eggs, but they're just the egg whites. Why is my blood sugars going up?
Well, part of that is going to be related to how low they had been maybe in the morning. So a lot of times when people wake up and they take their first meal, their blood sugar is going to raise. So you could play around a little bit with the amount of calories you have or continue on with the high protein. I think that is the exact right thing to do. And then if you do have insulin or something like that, you definitely want to consult your certified diabetes educator to make sure that the dose of insulin you're taking is right.
All right, let's go to Ann now in Evansville. Hi, Ann.
Hi, I have 2 questions. My husband and I are in our 60s. Do you think we should drink 1 or 2% milk? And the other question is, I see my husband sneak drinking milk from the carton, and can I wipe his germs off, or should I get my own separate milk?
Oh, that's another issue.
Well, yes, there's food safety and nutrition in there. So between the 1 or 2% milk, it's really a preference. You're getting a slight bit of more fat, saturated fat, and fat in general with the 2%, but we're not really necessarily condoning all fat-free or all 1% milk. So a lot of that is a personal preference. For the food safety question, I would get myself a separate jug of milk. Even if you wipe out the outside, there might be something to creep into that milk.
Him and her, 2 separate things.
Yeah, that'd be easiest.
All right. Let's go to Dan in Madison. Hi, Dan. Dan, you there? Dan is not there. We'll go to Gina in Madison. Hi, Gina.
Yeah, hi, how you doing?
Good.
I know you had some questions about milk before, and I apologize if you answered this, but I just looked at my skim milk, 12 grams of sugar. How bad is that, and how aware should I be when I'm drinking milk about sugar?
Right, that's a great example. There is going to be some sugar in milk. Basically, it's called milk sugar. It's the lactose, which is actually a type of sugar. Because that amount of sugar is balanced with the protein and whatever fat might be in your milk, not if it's skim, but if it's other percentages of fat, you are going to have more of a blunted blood sugar curve. So it's not going to be as intense as if you had a candy bar. So I'm not too worried about the sugars in the milk because, again, they're natural sugars. They are part of the milk.
And that's what we were talking about when we started the segment, the difference between artificial sugars and natural sugar.
Right.
Is sugar natural?
Well, it is natural, but when we add it to a food product, a lot of times processed foods, drinks, beverages, that sort of thing, you're getting a lot more than, let's say, that 12 grams that was in that serving of milk. So a lot of times we underestimate how many calories or grams we're getting from added sugar. The same amount might be in a very small, fun-sized candy bar, but most people don't have the small size.
Right.
So we have to watch the portions.
Read the labels. Michelle, thank you. If you're still on the line, stay there. She'll talk to you off the air. We'll see you in a month.